Hello, this is David Moore of Equity Advantage, and this week we're going to talk about identifying properties in a 1031 tax-deferred exchange. So we've got three basic rules. Each rule works independently of the others. The first rule is what we call the three-property rule, and it, in a nutshell, says you can ID up to three properties of any value. Keep in mind each rule, as I said, works independently of the others. So first rule is three properties, any value will work. Second rule says you can ID more than three properties, but the total value of the properties ID'd cannot exceed 200% of the relinquished property's value. So that one works, for people that are in a situation where they maybe want to buy a bunch of smaller properties. Typically doesn't work very well if they're looking at a primary property ID and then second or third that are fallbacks. Just your 200% rule is just not going to work for those situations. If 3 is too little and 200% is too restrictive, you've got the third option is the 95% rule. The 95% rule says you can exceed three properties. The total value of the properties ID'd cannot exceed 200% of the relinquished property's value. And you've got to acquire 95% of the aggregate value of all properties identified. So that's a very tough one. I know lots of great brokers, not many that really want to take that one on because you're closing everything you've identified. In a lot of my seminars, I give an example of a client of ours years ago that bought 24 different replacement properties. She was a CPA. She knew the repercussions of not getting them all done. She got all those closings done within the 45-day ID period, so she didn't have to worry about the rules at all. So once again, these rules are only important if you're looking at getting things done after that 45th day. Anytime you buy stuff, you complete your exchange inside the 45-day ID period, you just don't need to really worry about it. But if things are going to be happening later, you've got to meet one of those three rules. Each rule, once again, is independent of the others. The three property rule, 200% rule, and the 95% rule. I guess the next thing, when you're looking at values on the 200% rule and 95% rule, when I got involved in this business, I got a hold of a audit manual from, I believe, 1990. It was asking whether a property was on the market at the time of identification. And let me throw this out at you. Does a property have to be on the market, or define what is on the market? Does a property have to be listed to be on the market? So that's really irrelevant. The property's just, you've got to give an unambiguous description of that property or the properties you're identifying. It doesn't have to be on the market. And typically a common address, including city, state, and zip, is going to suffice. If you've got a legal description, great. And we'll work with that. But once again, hope this has helped. And if you've got further questions on this, please don't hesitate to give us a call. Equity Advantage, 1031exchange.com. My name's David Moore, and thanks for joining us. Bye.